Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome back to Everlasting Summer, where we continue the story of mystery of Semyon's appearance in the camp. Alright, someone was knocking at the door. Let's check who it was. So quiet that I barely heard it. Damn, who else is it? Hissed I under my breath and shouted, "Come in!" But the door didn't open, so I pulled the handle myself. Then I was on the doorstep. It looks like I really scared her. Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You came to look at Yurievna? No, she said, staring at the ground. So what is it then? What did Lena want from me? Come in. She came in and hesitated in the middle of the room. Wanna take a seat? I pointed at one of the beds. Like stated a bit more, but nevertheless took a seat. Did something happen? Not at all, it just... She threw a quick glance at me, but blushed at once and looked away. Here! Lena took something out of her pocket and handed it to me. I was stunned. It was my phone. But where did you get it from? I found it in the forest. Okay, but why do you think it's mine? Some boy told me so. Have you ever seen him before? I don't know, I couldn't see his face, but he was dressed in a pioneer uniform. Everything was clear at once. And don't you wonder what it is? I looked at the screen. There still was some battery left, therefore the cell phone shouldn't just look like a piece of plastic to Lena. I don't know, some kind of game? Yeah, you're right. I quickly opened Snake in the menu and handed the phone to her. Here you go, a keepsake. Oh, what are you doing? I can't. Lena waved her hands at me. Take it, I have loads of these at home. She resisted a bit more, but finally she took the device. And what do I do with it? Press the keys to move left and right, and you've got to eat these pellets and keep from hitting your own tail. Wow, it's so interesting. She smiled. Thank you, and yet I have nothing for you, it's so embarrassing. I don't need anything, thanks. No, that's not good, she said with a voice that sounded more confident than usual. It's the last day today, after all. Yeah. I hope we'll meet again. I think we will. Then I have a present for you. And what is it? Close your eyes. I did so. And promise that you won't open them until I tell you. Okay. No, you have to promise. Alright, I promise. In a moment I felt a light kiss on my cheek. I was really eager to open my eyes, but I promised. Open. The room was empty. What a girl. The only thing I managed to say. So, how does it feel, Stud? I heard malicious laughter from the place where Lena had just been sitting. So, that's your new way of pranking me, huh? Using the others? Me? Pranking? God forbid. Indeed, you got a kiss from a sweet girl thanks to me. On the cheek, but anyway. I really wanted to beat him up at the moment, but I wasn't even sure that he's a physical being here. I presume that this prank wasn't your last one. I said calmer. Who knows, who knows. Isn't it fun? The pioneer laughed hard. Perhaps Professor Moriarty laughed like that, anticipating the success of his diabolical plan. You're certainly having fun, but I'm not. Relax, dude. There's almost nothing left, and here you go, your second lap. After you do a dozen, then you will earn a pit stop. Although you probably won't need me then. You'll figure out everything yourself. It's not like I need you right now either. Oh, what ingratitude. Just cut it out. If you'd ever. Just shut up and already. No understanding. Shut your dang mouth! I screamed so loud that the walls trembled. The front door suddenly burst open and Alisa came in. Is it just me, or has someone gone completely nutty nuts? She asked with fright. Well, you could say so. I answered angrily. Why are you yelling? Because I want to. I already realized that the accidental arrival of Alisa was either planned by this pioneer or would be commented on by him in a manner that I'd sooner drive a pair of nails into my ears than have to hear. Have you gone psycho or something? Alisa reclined on a bed and in a laid-back manner. To what do I owe the honor? I came just for the sake of it, and you're just here screaming. You aren't doing anything just for the sake of it. I've got nothing to do. I've packed myself. It's boring. Well, well. If you think that I came to you because... She threw an angry glance at me and turned away. I really shouldn't have come after all that. After what? I haven't said a word. Of course, you thought it instead. Oh, so you can read minds now. There's no need to read your mind. It's written all over your face. It was hardly possible to read anything on my face besides fatigue and anger. And what have you read there? That's none of your business. Well, it's not like I'm holding you here. Forget it. I'll go whenever I please. Don't boss me around. Okay, stay here then, for God's sake. Anyway, I liked Alisa's company was much more than the pioneers. I lay back and closed my eyes. It took Alisa a few minutes to break the silence. You really don't want to tell me anything? For example? Today's the last day after all. So, you're happy? Well, she babbled uncertainly. Everyone's leaving. Good riddance. And that's all? You need something else? Didn't you like it here? Her voice sounded unusual. I've seen better places. Damn, you are so dumb that speaking to you is a complete waste of time. She got up and headed to the exit. Yep, good luck to you too. Alisa turned to me. Her face was wreathing with anger. Couldn't you at least have said that you'll miss me? Sure I will. Wimp! She slammed the door loudly. Stupid. I didn't hear my last line, of course. What a wayward chick, huh? As good as you are. And you, in that case. Of course, keep me comparing me to yourself. I remarked mischievously. But what's the difference? We're in the same situation. I've just been here a lot longer. Well, in fact, a lot longer. And you've already gone completely nuts. No wonder. His hoarse laughter was really pissing me off. Listen, have I already told you that you should be an actor? You'd do a brilliant Hannibal Lecter. Especially since you consider yourself a psychiatrist. I'll think about it. Well, now I must go. Maybe I'll see you again. Get lost. I turned to look at him, but the pioneer had already disappeared. Finally. But nevertheless, why did he come? It might be the case that me, him, and others like us are the only real people around here, but I desperately didn't want to believe that. All his speech seemed like some sort of a complex game. Like he's trying to give me one hint after the other, trying to lead me to something, enabling me to discover some kind of devious plot. Too bad he's not really successful at that, because I'm out of the ideas. Time dragged on deceitfully slowly, but it's 5 PM already. It's gone during the summer. If one counts the seconds and minutes, it appears that even a single hour would never end, but if one thinks of anything else, then the whole day flies by quickly. True. I decided to start packing. They could live without me. I quickly took all my winter stuff and shoved it into a bag. I was almost about to jump onto the bed again, but the door opened and Olga Dmitrievna came in. Oh, I see you're packed already. That's great. Let's go. I got up reluctantly, grabbed my simple luggage and followed her. I really don't care what will happen next. I had long suspected that nothing was up to me in this world, and recent events had reinforced my complete confidence in this. I might wake up tomorrow in bus number 410, or I might not wake up at all. And that's all, folks. It's all that simple. There's no point in staying here. There's nowhere to run. Basically, my only exit is to leave on the bus with everyone else. Go into the unknown. That's all I'd been doing for the last week, stumbling along a narrow path in pitch-black darkness, unsure of where is the beginning and where is the end. We were almost approaching the gates when I heard someone calling my name. Semyon! Semyon! Okay, Dmitrievna, excuse me just a minute. Oi, but make it fast or we'll leave without you. I headed for the bushes that the voice came from. Semyon! Semyon! I waded through the thick greenery and came out onto the forest path. The voice seemed to be calling from nowhere. One moment it was heard from behind a tree, and now it seems to be behind my back. And probably it's one of those aliens from the parallel worlds, but I suspect that I haven't met this exact one before. We don't have much time. I'm listening. I know that you've already been contacted by him and him. Yeah. And I know that what they've told you. Don't ask me how. Okay. But you must know one thing, the thing I know. There's more than a dozen of us here, in fact, more than 1,000. But a lot of people got out. I've tried to digest what he said and phrase the right questions. Then why are you here? I stayed. Why? To help others to find an exit. Whoa, how generous. And why should I trust you? You're the third one already. Well, in fact, I'm not even sure that you all aren't just my hallucination. It's not about trust. Then what is it about? It's about the right choice. Consider this camp to be a giant maze. You should take a few right turns to find an exit. Okay, and how do I know which ones are right? You'll know. Come with me. Where to? To the second lap. Hold on a second. That pioneer said that my second lap will start tomorrow. He lied. The speaker raised his voice. He's gone completely crazy and he's trying to destroy all the others. So if I don't go with you and leave on the bus, then I'll be destroyed, right? I don't know. Then why do you say so? Nobody ever turned off their conversation with him. Listen, why should I trust you? I was definitely on the edge. Well, that pioneer just mocked me and didn't seem to be a real danger. This one clearly spoke about things worth being anxious about. I couldn't decide which one should I trust. This problem is like trying to get a blind man to say whether the light in the room is on or off. He can only guess. Just like me. Hurry up, time is running out. Hey, wait a second. Make a choice, are you coming or not? Do not follow the voice. No, you know what? I can't just believe you in only a couple of minutes. At least I've known that other guy for a little longer and his arguments seem to be more vital. You'll be sorry. Those words sound like they were coming from another world. The voice seemed to disappear. Of course, I couldn't be sure whether my choice is right or wrong. It was a blind guess enforced by a time limit. Nevertheless, whether I'm right or not, we'll find out soon. In a couple of minutes, I was standing at the bus stop with all the other pioneers. Everybody here? Hey again, Olga Dmitrievna, again. You're leaving our camp today and I'd like to tell you something in parting. She was visibly nervous and desperately lost of words. I hope that you will remember the time you've spent here for a lifetime and that you will retain all the pleasant memories about Sovyonok. She every time tells the same thing. I also hope that you become at least a little bit better, manage to learn something and found new friends. Just come back next year. The camp leader looked away. It's like she was trying to keep the tears inside. I didn't expect her to get so emotional. Although her speech sounded like complete nonsense to me as usual. The parents started to crowd me the bus, babbling cheerfully. I decided to hold on a little and say a proper goodbye to this camp. All of a sudden, I felt a deep urge to throw a coin. Of course, there's no fountain here, and honestly, I didn't feel like returning, but it's still just a superstition and I didn't believe in them. And at least I never believed in them before. Digging through my pockets, I found only a couple of candy wrappers, a pencil and a scrap of paper. I had them for a moment, then I squatted put the paper on the ground and scribbled a few words. You are here for a reason. Grinning at my stupidity, I threw the scrap under the wheels of the bus and got in the cabin. I found a place in the middle. But the strangest thing was that everyone sat in bars and only I was alone. However, what's the difference now? I will either disappear or will restart everything in a couple of hours. The bus was slowly moving towards the district center, occasionally bouncing over the bumps in the road. It was impossible to see anything beyond the old windows in the pitch black dark of the night. Anyway, I couldn't care less about the surrounding countryside. I just sat and waited for the inevitable. For the first time in a long while, my head was completely empty. The pioneers around me enjoyed the trip. Ulian and Alisa were playing cards. Lena was reading a book and Slavia was sleeping. Miko was trying in vain to start a conversation with Xenia, and Xenia was trying really hard not to start killing people. Electronic and Shulgi were crafting something, as always. I was the only one completely ignored by everyone. It might be a slightly far-fetched perception. I got used to the role of being the center of the universe in the camp. I thought that everything revolved around me. Well, that might be so up to a certain degree, but here and now I'm only a foreign object, an out-of-place molecule in the harmonic pattern of a crystal grid. I'm not sure how long we'd spent around, but sleep had already started to overcome me. I was desperately finding more fuels, trying to stay awake as long as I could. After all, it's quite possible that today is the last day of my life. Then probably it's reasonable to cling as hard as I could to these few hours of meaningless, useless existence. However, physical fatigue and, more importantly, emotional fatigue took its toll, and I fell asleep. A sharp pain throbbed through my entire body. I felt it especially sharply in my temples. It feels like they are ready to shatter into 1,000 little pieces, giving the wind free access to my empty head. Probably I would not have been able to stand even 5 minutes of such torture if I hadn't opened my eyes in time. I was somewhere. It was impossible to tell precisely where. My mind was clouded mist, my thoughts were confused. The moment between the unconscious and conscious states when you vividly remember your dreams. Who's that? I was going somewhere by bus and was about to doze off when suddenly a girl came up to me and began to speak quickly. Who's that hottie? I couldn't understand a word, but the girl looked very upset. I failed to understand what she needed from me. Time passed and she kept talking on and on. It was getting really annoying. I wanted to ask her to cut it out or at least calm down a bit, but I failed, either because I didn't manage to say anything or because my words didn't reach her. I couldn't even see her face. I was simply listening and staring and listening. Mosquito. Perhaps it was important for me then. Surely you would not try to remember what a mosquito disturbing your sleep looks like. I just killed a mosquito, how did you know that? Surely you wouldn't manage to recall the frequency of its flapping wings or the inclination of its proboscis after that. And this girl is just one of millions of voices that disturb you from concentrating, from thinking, from falling asleep. The louder her voice grew, the harder it got for me to catch her words. The bus cabin, the seats worn by time, the uneven floor, the rusty ceiling, the cracked glass of the windscreen, everything was floating away. Along with her. And then I felt a unique sense of relief. It didn't matter how real Buzz and the girl had been, it was nothing but a bug to me. And here I am, hanging in total emptiness and falling inside a dream. Alright, let's end this here. We'll continue this in the next episode. Bye.